Hey folks, sorry it's been a while since I've been able to play a game, and it's still going to be a while. I'm actually getting some board gaming in, but it's been a lot of multiplayer and nothing I've been able to record for you guys. So my apologies. I'm having a great time, but you're not able to join me at the table, of course. I did want to do a quick video just to cover some rules errata. Brady wrote me to answer some questions, and his basic thing was that he believes that all the cards are self-explanatory if you read them literally. So he basically advised me to not try to read into anything, just read the cards literally in every situation and you'll be fine. So for example, when it says that you can hit anywhere else in Brook City, the Delta Keys is not considered Brook City. So the ability to sit in the Delta Keys and do something in Brook City would not happen. The question of what do I do with the cargo tokens on a card if I don't make any actual progress, but I still, had a success? Well, it literally says in the rules that if a card is discarded, any tokens on it also get discarded. So that was his point. And then lastly, regarding Mallory Dawson here, this particular cop, she has a particular card that we actually played it more punitive than it was. So the card is actually a lot more awesome than we thought it was. So it's one of her earlier cards here, right here. For each hunch you have, you may place one progress on a crime. And so here's my beef with this. So he answered the question to that with, just read the card literally and your path is clear. In my opinion, the path is not clear. Which part of this do we read literally? And so for each hunch I have, so let's say I have 12 hunches, okay? So for each of my 12 hunches, I may place one progress on a crime. So a crime means a single crime. You can emphasize that if you'd like. So I can place 12 hunches on one crime, or I can place 12 hunches on 12 different crimes. So I think, because he says for each hunch you have, you may place one progress on a crime. So I would start with hunch number 1 and place it on a crime. Any one I choose. Hunch number 2, any crime I choose. So I think that's what he was implying, is that you can, that this card, that the sentence by itself is literal. And so the 12 hunches would literally go on 12. So basically this is a very powerful card. This is what I'm trying to say. You could, in a 4-player game, clean out everybody's crimes all in one play with this card, assuming that that Mallory has a whole bunch of hunches, which Mallory usually does. So when we played that last playthrough, we didn't do that. So then the next question came up, and that was with, so Wilson Fox had a crime in his area, and we had one of these events that says each cop must, it's here somewhere. There was an event that says you have to place an influence on a crime, just a crime. This particular one I'm looking at here says in their crime area, but that's not the one I'm talking about. There was one that just says on a crime. Well, there was only one cop that even had a crime, and that was Wilson Fox. So all 4 players had to put an influence on there, and that, of course, would cause him to get blackmailed because that particular crime already had the maximum number of influence on it. So then the question I had for Brady is who gets blackmailed? Is it the one there? Is it Wilson Fox that gets blackmailed? Or is it the cop that was placing the influence on? And if a 4th influence would be placed on the card, you are blackmailed. Well, who's you? Is the you the person who has this in a crime, or is you the person who's putting the influence on? And again, Brady answered it with, read the card and take it literally. So I was really hoping for some guidance, and I didn't quite get the guidance I was hoping for. But I think that by his answer, it's given me some liberties. First of all, it's allowing me to decide how I want my game to play. So I do appreciate that, because I'm always a person that, if I don't like a particular rule, I do have no problem changing it. But I did want to know what his thoughts were. So I think the way I landed with it was the right way to go. Because here's the thing. If it would have been Wilson who got blackmailed, it would have been an immediate game over. Because even if he had zero stress at all, the way the blackmail function works with this, with it having 3 influence tokens on it, every time he's blackmailed, he would gain 3 stress. Well, 3 times 4 players would have been 12 stress. It would have been a game over, because he could only have 12 stress on him. So if you take it, if the literal you is whoever has them in the crime area, then I think that that's the wrong interpretation, mostly because the game would be broken. So I think the literal you is the person who's putting the influence on it. And in that case, it would be each of the players took 3 stress across the board, which is what we did in our last playthrough. So I know this is getting into some finer points of the mechanics, but I've been interested enough in this game, and I've been having enough fun with it, that I wanted to make sure I had those things exactly right. And basically, Brady's position was just read the cards. Take them literally, and you will never go wrong. So that's the advice I want to give to everybody. And the last thing I just wanted to verify was with the expansion, you get the Gucci cars. So for example, in the base game, you get this cop car that you start the game with. And then there's these cars, which you can get at the police station. And so I just wanted to make sure, you have to be at the police station to get this particular car. The game rules state that you start the game with this one. So, again, see, now I'm taking everything literally. Does that mean that I can't start the game with that one? Because you always start the game at the police station. And he said, because this says you can do it while you're at the police station, you can basically, so it's essentially you're ditching this one to get that one, and there's nothing wrong with that. So so he said basically, skip that and just start the game with the car you want. It doesn't matter. You get to choose which of the 2 police cars you want to start the game with. And so I do like that. I think the ability to ditch a police car and go anywhere in the city is awesome. And then, of course, that one, which lets you go diagonally, is actually much more powerful than I originally thought. But obviously, you're going to want to hold on to your car with the latter one. And then the first one, you're ditching it right away and then going with whatever's in the deck from there on out. So pretty interesting. So again, I apologize. I haven't been able to get this to the table. Obviously, it's still on my table, but I actually have to put it away. I'm hosting some gaming this weekend, and I'm hoping to get it out again soon. I did not play this as much as I wanted to, and anyways, it's a good game. It's not the most. It's not going to be my top game of the year per se, but I am very satisfied with this one. This is a fantastic game. I'm much more happy with this than I am with some of the other ones. FFG has been disappointing me a lot lately, and I'm to a point where I'm not even sure I'm going to buy FFG anymore until I've seen it played solidly. Anyways, it's just where I'm at, I guess, in life, and where I am with my maturity with board games. I just want more in a game. And anyways, I didn't mean to make this a review hour. This fantastic game, definitely coming to my table again soon. So what's going to be played this weekend? I know we're going to be doing Escape Plan. I know we're going to be doing Hansa Teutonica. We have 5 players, so that really limits what kind of games you can play. Most games, as you know, only go up to 4 players. It is 5 players. You would think that we would be able to get some Lord of the Rings in, that new FFG game, but everybody who's coming hates it. So I'm definitely, it's a big negatory there. Not going to be able to get that one to the table. But yeah, we'll see what else is we're going to be able to get. This particular group, we like to play this game called Winner's Circle. It's a very light game, but it's so much fun. My kids especially, they'll stop their video games to come play that one with us. It's just you're just betting on horses to win races, and we play it sometimes in between some heavier games. And anyways, it's really good fun. That one for sure will hit the table. And oh my gosh, I can't even remember some of the other ones I know that. Oh, we like to play this game called Archipelago, which does have a solitaire variant. I don't own it. That's why you don't see me do a playthrough of it. But that one is very likely to hit the table as well. Carson City is very likely going to come, and so will Snowdonia. I know some of these are older games, but this particular group, we like those games. And again, we're confined to 5 players, so it's that's part of it. Anyways, thank you for watching, as always, and I hope that those rules clarifications helped. I know they're minor. These were all minor rules things, but I just I did want to follow through with the previous playthrough and get some of those things cleared up. So in case some of you are playing, you can at least have that guidance. Take the cards literally, and Delta Keys is not the same location as Brook City, and that little mechanic there is pretty easy to mitigate if you can keep a cop over there. The whole Delta Keys expansion to me seems like it's just nothing more than a distraction mechanic. I don't find it to be fun. I know I've said this before, but the part of this game that's fun to me is the modular mechanic. And to be quite honest with all of you, I am fine with just putting the Delta Keys expansion away and never using it again. That's just where I am with the game. I think that moving around the city is a blast. I think that dealing with crimes that are confined to here is a blast. I don't need that. And I do, and I know I said this before, I think that the Delta Keys is a great, like if you're really good at the game and you want that extra challenge, you add this, because this is a distraction that it does help you if you succeed at it, but at the same time it's hurting you because you have one of your players is distracted with that instead of moving on with the main mission. I fully confess I'm not good enough at this game to do that. I've proven it. But after looking through some of these cases, and I know I haven't had a chance to play since this last playthrough, I think this particular case, Trouble from Paradise, is a very difficult case. I think it's one of the more difficult ones we have. The Mercy setup might actually be the most difficult. I don't know. We haven't played that yet. But just from looking at it, it looks like it could be very difficult. But this Trouble from Paradise, with the way the clues have to be beaten, and then you have to go beat the suspect to hand those clues in. By the way, Brady said there is absolutely no trading of items. So yes, every cop that gets a clue has to then go, beat the suspect to put that clue on him. That particular mechanic is why we lost this last game. We made it. We went many rounds this last time. We were doing quite well at keeping the crimes low and whatnot. But yes, eventually it got us. And anyways, long story short of that is I think this is one of the most difficult cases to do because of the way it's set up. And maybe that particular suspect is just really hard to arrest, and that also didn't help us. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I think, I am going to take some credit that this is probably one of the more challenging ones. I think I could beat some of the easier combinations. At this point, the Delta Keys is just too much for me, especially when I'm doing this one. I couldn't, I put Selena Gonzalez there, and then I used her sniper to do stuff back here, and now I'm finding out I can't even do that. So that makes it even harder. So anyways, thank you for watching. Stay awesome, and hoping to get something to the table for you guys soon.